Today's video is all about how to get started with watercolors and what supplies you need to get. And I'll give you what I use and then the budget version of how to get just what you need to get started. If you haven't been here before, I'm DeElla. Make sure and subscribe, and let's get right to it. Let's get started by looking at paper. It's amazing how many papers there are out there. But really, the most important thing that you want to look for in paper that you're buying is 140 pound or 300 grams for watercolor paper. I prefer cold press paper because it has a nice texture to it, but there are lots of different watercolor papers that you can choose. Canson is a great beginner kind of watercolor paper. It does fine. I feel like it pills a little bit for me because I use a lot of water, so I don't think it's my favorite. Arches is probably my favorite watercolor paper. This is a cold press block, and so it's glued all the way around. It has a nice surface to it. It's got a little bit of texture. What's nice about that is you can paint directly on it, but it's not great if you're using a lot of different projects at once. Now this is hot press paper, which means it's very smooth to the touch. We're going to be doing some very botanical butterflies in another series, so I love that smooth texture for that. Now with paper, you're going to want to be able to tape it down. It doesn't matter what kind of tape you use. This is a masking tape. You can use blue painter's tape, washi tape, whatever you want, really. I find the neutral color is less distracting than green or blue or patterned. So you just want to be able to tape down your paper so it doesn't warp. The next thing is graphite paper or some sort of transfer paper. You can use this over and over and over again. It's very cheap. You can find it at any like Hobby Lobby, Michael's, anything like that. Next, you're going to need a pencil. This is just a number 2 Tigger pencil, but you can use an HB or whatever you like to draw with. Doesn't matter so much, just as long as you're comfortable with it. Then we're going to need a spritz bottle, and that is super helpful to spritz your paints and activate them whenever you start painting. You can also use an eyedropper for something like that. Then 2 bottles of water or 2 containers of water. Since I'm in the basement, I use 2 small containers, fill them up, and then have a dump bucket and clean them out really, really often. Then we're looking at watercolor pencils. When I sketch with these, it's great. I sketch right on the watercolor paper and they disappear completely once the painting is underway. To dry things out quickly, I use my handy dandy blow dryer. It's awesome, but you can use a heat gun as well. So let's talk brushes. This is part of my brushes. I have a lot of brushes. I like to experiment, but these are what I primarily use for watercolor. There are different brands. Synthetic or squirrel hair is the most common. This is a mop brush that I really like for working larger. It's got a great big head with a point on the end so you can get some detail. That's kind of an optional thing, but I really think you should start with big, medium, and small brushes. Really, you can get away with just using 3 brushes. I like rounds for watercolor the most. They're the most useful. So this is a small round. We had a medium round. And a liner brush is the kind of 4th optional brush that you can use, and it really helps with some of the small details. Additional brushes that you might want to look at are things like an angled brush that's really great, makes great leaves, or a fan brush. It works for fur or grass or all kinds of other things. When you're buying brushes, make sure and get a quality brush that's not going to leave hair all over your paper. All right, now we're talking about actual watercolors, the paint part, the fun part. So this is a koi box set. It's a larger size. It comes with the top that can be used as a palette as well as an additional insert that can be used as a palette. And make sure you don't get rid of the paint on your palette because you can use it again. Just activate it with some water. This koi set I've had for at least 3 years, and I paint a lot with it, and it's really lasted. But if you don't want to invest in the big set, get a small travel set, and it comes with the little palette, and it's great, and it has plenty of colors to do most watercolor paintings. Another option for watercolor artists are tube watercolors. These have great pigments. I really like M. Graham and Daniel Smith, but they are a little bit pricey. So use what you can afford and get artist grade. This is a gum eraser. It's kneadable and it erases really well. So you should definitely have one of those. A micron pen is my favorite thing to sign with or use for small details like animal eyes or even just sketching on top of watercolor. Obviously, I've had it in with my wet watercolor paints and it's all over me and I'm making a mess. This is a gel pen. It's white. And again, I use this for small details or to sign my name on a dark surface. It's a uniball, but you can buy any kind of gel pen. If your kit doesn't come with palettes, you might want to get a palette, or you can even use paper plate. Don't use student grade or kids watercolors. You're just not going to get the right results, and they have a lot of chalk in them, so they aren't as clear and vibrant. I love Viva paper towels. I use those a lot. You can use any paper towel or regular towel, but I like the Vivas because they don't leave as much fuzz around as other brands. This is masking fluid. This preserves the white of your paper. I prefer the one to use with a brush instead of the one with this point. I just don't find it very useful. It clogs all the time. It does come in an orange color once you shake it up, and that way you can see where you've left your masking fluid. Salt is another great thing just from the kitchen. I use kosher salt mostly, but any salt will do. I also like using some rubbing alcohol just in a dropper. It can create some very cool effects. This is a cheat that I use all the time for really black blacks. It's waterproof India ink. It does not mix with your watercolors, but it can make great silhouettes, and I find it very, very helpful. It's about $3. This is just a Dick Blick brand. Another, additional thing, you might want some gouache or an acrylic paint, especially in white. If you make mistakes, that can really help you just get some more white back. Of course, you would use your masking fluid as a more pure way to preserve your whites. The next thing I use on occasion are these grounds by Daniel Smith. We have a translucent one and also a pearlescent one. I got these when I was working on a large watercolor painting and I'd really kind of made some mud, and so I put the ground on and it helped me to finish the painting without starting all over again. This is my favorite tool in my kit. It's lava soap. My dad used to use this when he was a mechanic to clean his hands. And what you do is you wash your brushes with it. I just have it on a soap dish, and you just drag your brush along it, rinse it out a couple of times. But the coolest thing with this is when you are finished washing it, you just leave a little soap on your brush and make your tip. It has saved so many brushes for me. It's just magic. So to get started, what you really need is a paint palette set, not a kid's one, but a regular artist paint palette set of your choice. I like the Koi brand personally because it's very pigmented. Next, you'll need at least 3 brushes, a small, medium, and a large brush. You can also additionally add a liner brush to this, or a fan brush, or even that angled brush. But 3 to get started. You need 2 containers of water, your lava soap, a spritzer, some paper towels, paper, of course, and that's really all you need to do to get started. So don't think you have to buy a ton of supplies to get started on your watercolor journey. Thanks so much for watching, and make sure to subscribe and check out the rest of this playlist for some more beginner watercolor basics.